a bit erratic. You might have a team that can respond to them quite well. The only way to find out, of course, is to see how they stack up against Horizon here on Oregon for the first map. Let's see how they do.
So, into the Kids Dorms. First of all, that's going to be the upstairs bomb site to defend.
We don't call it kids dorms anymore. We call it your bedroom.
Okay.
Mate, I've been so quiet.
As the studio goes,
I've been so quiet and reserved all night. I had to get it out there at some point, and you set me up so well. Thank you.
Why'd you have to pick
Thank
Oregon?
you for this gift. In my old age, it's really nice to be given gifts by young people, and that was one of them. Anyway, let's talk more about the teams and how they're stacking up. Proxy, of course, was one of our MVPs last week. He was the big guy. Let's see if he can do the same again this week, or if there will be someone else stepping up to take the table and show us what they're made of.
So we are going to be seeing my bedroom hold, of course, as we do then see the Mira being picked, as she's going to be such a good operator, of course, for defending that A bomb site double window, and then also another Mira window which can overlook in towards that box area, which I like to call it as well. Also, we do see Rum then picking up that smoke, which is going to be a crucial operator for stopping a lot of these plants coming in from that box. Quite a very interesting developer point, that the way that Ubisoft made this map was that I'm pretty sure that this bomb site particularly is one of the smallest bomb sites in the game, because you think about it, it's very close quarters, very narrow, very shotgun friendly. So if I would say that smokes and shotguns definitely favour this, as smoke really only has to focus in two ways in.
I really love when the different kind of approaches that you get into Kid's bedroom, though, because someone can come from outside. You can, of course, try and take corridor. You can take either the east or west as well, try and push up the stairs on either side and go for a push that way. It gives a lot of options, and generally we don't see bomb points being favoured when they have that large number of entry points, but it's still very, very popular. Definitely going to be picking up Glaz here, trying to get himself through. Of course, a bit cheating with that constant, basically, free painter for you, I like to call it. Yeah, banana vision, that's a good way of putting it. Painting them bright yellow.
Looking at the Glaz pick, I think that they have specifically chosen Glaz.
Oopsie daisy.
Oh, 2-man, another opening kill.
God damn it. Stop it and stop trying to take all the stats, my friend. However, Proxy will return a kill onto Tristan, the in-game leader. So now the leader's down, he has all that vision and that capability to direct his team to potentially a first-round victory.
Talking about that Glaz, I think they have specifically chosen Glaz not to necessarily have a Glaz push with, you know, we're looking at Glaz, no other smoke grenades except for his. Maybe we would more than likely see Yings being partnered up with Glaz if they want to go for different pushes. I think they've chosen that to counter the smoke grenades. Remember, them smoke grenades still count as a smoke, so Glaz can still see through them, where you might think as a smoke player, okay, I can run through them, they can't see me, I don't get hurt by my own smoke grenades. Glaz can then punish you for that, which I think is a very interesting strat that Vexed want to go for. But at this stage, they've lost the Glaz, they can't do that, and this is where Rom now gets even better as a smoke player.
I mean, Diff, bless him, you'd argue is probably one of the weaker links on the team. Last week, he went 9 kills, 9 deaths. On a team where Proxy's going like, I think he went 21 and 13 or something ridiculous. He was one of the more quieter players. And Scythe, in fact, was probably the most, I'm trying to think of the word here, coordinated, sensible player of the bunch. He had the fewest number of deaths. And speaking of which, this is exactly why. Catching 2-Mas out with that Claymore.
Possibly a little bit too much aggression coming out from 2-Mas.
Yeah,
in that scenario, they should know, okay, they're in master bedroom. We know they're in master bedroom. We've seen them, again, come in, as I'm sure they probably heard them bust open the barricades, stuff like that there. Maybe he should have then stayed back a little bit. They knew nobody was going to be pressuring from that connector window, which is a big thing for a lot of defenders that they have problems with. Usually Proxy and they kill on the joke, and then Rum gets the trade-off. But at this stage, they know that Rum is going to be on them white stairs, and they can push in, knowing nobody's going to be there to stop them. And then it is very easy for Nyx to pick up that kill.
Very calm first round, you have to say, from Vex. Nothing too crazy coming out.
No.
Pretty run-of-the-mill, you might say, but Proxy once again topping that leaderboard. Nothing really surprising here. Maybe EJ being a bit quiet compared to what he was last week, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of time for him to shine. This is, of course, still a 2-map series.
I think this match isn't going to come down to teams playing with the strats, playing methodically, trying to get walls open. I think it's going to come down to the sheer gun skill that both these teams do possess again. 2-Mas can shoot a gun as well as anybody from Vex, but looking at the way Vex is and their gun skill last week, you would, of course, then favour Vex to start outgunning a lot of Horizon's members.
Well, let's see if they can go for some more crazy strats downstairs. Of course, we saw what they did against one up with the 5-man charging from construction. Didn't go how they planned, went pretty much how everybody else in the world expected it to, though, a.k.a. not very well.
No.
They're going to go for this downstairs defense, setting themselves up. Got the mirror. We spoke about the mirror quite a lot last week in how valuable she can be downstairs. It looks like they're going to reinforce up some of this meeting room and go for at least a half hold up there. Of course, with the drops, makes it very easy to return downstairs when you need to get back into those defensive positions. And the longer you can spend delaying the attacking side upstairs near meeting room, the more time you have to defend that downstairs as well.
We do see a Sophia being picked up by Horizon. I think this is the first time we've seen her being played on the Premiership. I think Sophia isn't the best operator. I think that Ubisoft tried to make her as Ashe-like as possible, because I would say that her playstyle is very much like Ashe, but again, she's a 2-speed, she's not a 3-speed, which does throw a lot of people off. Her gadget it's okay. It can work in good pushes if it is close quarter combat, such as a map like Oregon, so it possibly could have some good effect. But for the most part, I don't think we'll be seeing her do a lot inside this game.
You got picked up quite a lot as well in the qualifiers for the 6th Invitational that happened near the start of January, so she saw quite a bit of play there. So I'm not gonna write her off yet. I think there's still room for her to make an impact, but of course, my biggest problem with her is that others will do the same job she does, and in some cases better. She may be more versatile in that she can fulfill multiple roles at once if she wants to, but there are still those that can do what you need more better, and you can round out the other weaknesses that you don't have by having the Sophia with other operator picks anyway.
Possibly you might see an Uprise offer, maybe people might want to swap her out with the Ashe after the mid-season reinforcements, as of course the R4C, which is the main gun that typically Ashe players use, is going to get a decrease in damage from 41 to 48 damage. But at this stage we do see Tumas instead favouring for the G36C, which is the lesser pick gun out of the two.
He really wants this opening kill. In fact, so much so that he's going to try and rush in for it here. Got himself in a pretty good spot there. That laser sight giving away where the enemy is aiming, at least. And as soon as he sees that disappear, here goes the push, though. He gets another opening kill. Stop this man, somebody, please. Or he's going to be enjoying that for many, many more weeks to come. But at least now they're getting into meeting room. The biggest problem here for me is that they're at 1 minute and 15, and they are only just starting to take control of meeting room.
Even though that they don't physically have full control, they still have semi-control, as it's going to allow Tumas to play there and not allow anybody to start trying to cross in towards the meeting. At this stage, minute to go, smoke grenades now are going to start being thrown out. But more aggression coming out from Vexed Scythe as the Mira just runs across the room and shoots. I forget who he shot there, but that he is going to get the kill nonetheless. And Prox is going to run upstairs, get another kill to his name, as that's going to be Tristan off the boards. And also Joker gets the kill on the Prox, as he is going to be the last man up. Knows that somebody's going to be underneath them stairs. He has no way of getting rid of him. And this should now look to be a victory.
A Vexed victory. Indeed on the way. Well, let's see what Joker can do, because he's going to try and drop in. He knows there's someone there. He's just giving his position away completely. They almost got the foot spray then as well.
You know where he is.
Absolutely they do. As soon as they hear that plank goes down, they're going to go for, oh, the nice tap from Scythe. And he's been very safe about it. I don't actually think he's died yet. And there comes the fun, the teabagging, all the joy in the world. It's a Vexed party. And the only party they know is one where teabagging is involved.
So once again, a very aggressive laundry room and supply room defense, which we're not used to that much. We're typically used to a lot of the defenders being scared of attackers, being able to use that hatch to punish them if they're being caught out possibly inside that main corridor area for the most part. We do see Smoke and Mirror just sat behind that mirror window inside that cover, as it is going to be the safest place for them to stop the plant coming down, of course. But this time Vexed have went for a different spin on their things and have decided to play a little bit more aggressive, knowing that they have the gun skill to outgun Horizon.
That they do, but there are still moments where Horizon do shine, and Tumas especially is very, very good with these opening kills. I don't know what it is about this guy, but he's so hungry for those opening kills and always gets himself into a great position. I think, funnily enough, and quite ironically, patience is how he gets it. He'll get himself into a very, very good opening kill position, and then just wait, let someone else peek him, because they're trying to see, well, where are they? We need some intel here, and before you know it, he's there ready with the headshot.
He knows that Vexed are an aggressive team. He knows that they're a rock playstyle. He knows that they want to go for these aggressive peaks. They want to just be a nuisance to a lot of these attackers. So by him just patiently waiting and just letting them peek into him, he's then going to have that advantage.
Now you see me, now you don't.
See how they hold up upstairs so far. Just getting a nice little rotation hole between the two bedrooms. Tumax got the mirror windows. Going to pop one down there. And here comes the attack. Diff has been pretty quiet so far, as we've already said a couple of times. Definitely one of the weaker links last week. Scythe being the incredibly safe player. Very, very good anchor player, you have to say. And definitely not the first onto point, because very rarely is he going down. In fact, he's 3-0 so far in this game. Hasn't died and has the 3 kills to his name.
Nope, looking at the approach, it does seem to be once again that master bedroom that we did see previously Vexed go for, with Scythe getting straight up in towards that master bedroom. It seems to be that they want to try and hunt these roamers, as it is going to be Diff playing that Ashe, a more aggressive operator. Hopefully he can start to get some of the big kills to his name, as he does have then that white quarter angle to worry about as well. I believe Horizon made themselves to try and kill somebody pushing in towards that shard area. Nobody stationed there, which is quite surprising as well. But still, no kills on the board yet for either team.
Very, very slow start. Very surprising for Tumas, given it's normally his specialty. However, Robbie's going to take away that privilege today, bringing down Scythe. So everything we've been discussing so far in terms of Tumas being the opening killer and Scythe being very safe, completely fall apart.
That is going to be the Thermite down as well, so that's going to be their main way, getting in towards that box area that we do talk about. As then we do see Def getting a kill on the Joker, pushing in from that bathroom area. I believe also with Tumas rotating back upstairs, and that did limit Joker in the amount of support he does have. Prox is still wary that somebody might still be roaming about, as I believe that's going to be the Jaeger there, as we do see shots being fired out. Def does take up quite a beating from them, 416 carbine shots, but does manage to scurry away with most of his life still intact.
There's some good damage there. Almost catches him out as well on the other side. But the diff is pretty low here, so needs to be careful how far in he wants to push. He's trying to go for this trade upstairs. Lying down, a very smart move by Rum as well, because he can't get caught, but he stands up and himself sprayed. Moved a few seconds too soon there, so Diff does get himself his second kill of the round. Let's see where else they can push. EJ's going for a bit of a run around there. I thought he was going to go for the knife onto Tristan, but instead sprays him down from close range. And it's still looking like a Vexed round so far. 4-2 currently the scoreline in this game.
I think both these teams know how aggressive one another is. That's why I think we see a lot of the play being slowed down, because they're just waiting for one another to peek each other. But at that stage, I think Rom could have sat down a little bit slower, as he was a smoke player. And especially losing a smoke player with a minute to go, that does then have then a lot of free range for Vex to start pushing up the stairs, start getting in positions where he can start to pressure these anchor players, as we do see a very spread out attack. One person coming up from the white, one person on the windows, does put Mira in a very awkward position, especially if someone goes to this double window, as we do see the jump in. Did he catch a glimpse of him through that Mira window? He didn't. But we are then going to see him get a kill on the Proxes. The fuse is going to go down. We are going to see the last, I was about to say the last man, but then Tumas does actually pick up 2 kills, as it is going to be Diffuser going down. Tumas gets a free piece to finish off the round, and he does get a round on the board for his team.
Nice stuff with that shotgun play from Tumas, bringing his team, kicking and screaming through into their first round win, taking it to 2-1. Vex looking really good so far, and Tumas with those opening kills and the shotgun kills finds himself at the top of the leaderboard.
So once again, more aggression coming out, this time from Horizon. I think that it was a very good retake coming out from Tumas, especially I think because we did see Habana rotate and then move over towards then that double window. I think losing that little bit of coverage towards that master bedroom area allowed Tumas to then just free his way in towards the bomb site, as if they did have somebody watching then that cross, that would have put it to bed. And also, even if Tumas did manage to scurry across, then the call out would have been made to know there's going to be a guy coming in from that master bedroom side, and then I would imagine Vex would have been able to shut that down.
Well, once again, opting for the Zephyr. Didn't work out for them too well last time, but Vex doing something I would never expect to see them do, taking the Rook. Now, to me, something so as slow as a Rook isn't really their playstyle. They like this kind of run and gun and, you know, win just through outright gunfights, as we've mentioned a couple of times. But they're opting for that additional armor, so they have. I think a couple of times they've gone for these gunfights and lost, and they're kind of thinking, well, you know what, that one additional armor will probably really help us. So let's take that Rook away and let's have him play anchor on the point, and let's try and actually use some strategies to win this game out.
I think Rook's a great operator for this particular bomb site. He has impact needs, so he can start creating rotation holes, maybe in towards the 2 bomb sites. And also he has an ACOG to his advantage. So these long angles, this big long corridor that typically attackers, typically a Black Griffin ACOG, they rule the roost there. In this circumstances, we could see a bit of a fight back from Rook, and he can challenge at these longer distances.
Well, let's see what fights he goes for, or if he'll be one of the first ones being taken down. Horizon on their second attack. Curious to see if they can bring this to 2-2, because if they can do so, then Vexed aren't the hyper-skillful, you know, team that are light years ahead of everyone else. They are a team that can be beaten and brought down quite easily if Horizon can do that.
Seems to be that they want to pressure this Armory side as well as the Master Bedroom, so it's going to be a very standard box push. Still a bit of opposition they have to worry about is going to be Proxy on this rotate, but Rum is going to be in that position. That garage hold, which is an amazing anchor position for an attacker to lock down any crosses coming towards that west side of the building, which then in turn stops any roamer wanting to play very aggressive, trying to rotate up the back stairs and go for these late rotates, which you've seen teams such as Enix, I would imagine, they probably like doing stuff like that. But we do see a jump out coming out from Jaeger, who did manage to shut down, I believe it was the Thermite, so no way in towards the box, and more aggression coming out this time. It's going to be Diff with that. Ayla gets 1 kill on the 2-mast. He is thirsty for more, but he does not get anything from that.
Diff's been playing really well. For all we said about him being one of the weaker links last week, this round in particular, he's taken 2 kills. And in previous rounds, he's been involved in multiple as well. So him stepping up, again, we spoke about this for so many teams today. Are we going to see new heroes resurge in a sense and show us what they're made of? Definitely feels that way because Proxy's been pretty quiet. And in fact, speaking of the guy, just got dropped by Joker.
I wouldn't say quiet. I think he has got a good couple of kills. He got 3 in the first round.
I think he's second top of the leaderboard at the minute.
Yeah.
He's been looking pretty good, but just definitely not as kind of run away with the game as he was last week.
Possibly, I think it's because we haven't seen a nail-biting play yet where it's came down to a 1v1 bomb defused. Mostly, whatever team's won, it's came down to more of a man advantage, as then we do see Scythe using that ACOG with that long angle and the quick
again
from Def. I believe it's going to be a free K for him.
It is. Looking really good, to be fair. I like that there's more balance in this team this week as well, because for Vexed, I think if they're going to continue this domination we've been speaking about, it needs to be more than one-dimensional. Otherwise, teams just start looking for Proxy, they shut him down, and suddenly the rest of the team is left flailing. But Scythe and Diff, if nothing else, are really starting to step up. EJ had a great week last week. Nixiano has been pretty quiet, and I think somewhat living in Scythe's shadow, because he had a very, very good start to the game as well. Just maybe not as noisy or as kill-tacular as you might expect.
I don't think he's had a lot to do as well.
It's been a pretty chilled out game so far.
Not a lot of big miraculous plays such as the last game where we had Madman going off every round, it seemed like. This stage it seems to be a lot more quiet. Both these teams are very wary of each other. They know the aggression that they can pull out just from anywhere. We see it more from Vexed as, again, we just seen Def peek out aggressive, gets the kill. So it wasn't the game I was expecting. I was expecting more fast action kill, somebody getting a kill, trade out, and then just keeps trading out throughout the round. This stage seems to be more one-sided. One team gets the advantage and then they hold that advantage. A bit different than what we've seen last game, where more times we've seen Xenos have an advantage and Enix brought it back and won the round. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting this, but nonetheless, it is still a very entertaining match nonetheless.
Completely opening up that wall downstairs, and once again going for the meeting room hold. Got a few reinforcements going on upstairs, but a lot of the mirror windows are being dropped downstairs, so maybe it's more of a very light reinforcement upstairs to waste time and slow the attackers down rather than a full hold, which we saw previously.
We are going to see the glass being picked up, and glass is going to be very useful for pushing in towards that laundry room area, of course, as 2 smokes does fill that entire room, and also knowing that there's going to be rum on that smoke, then he's going to start throwing out his own gas grenades that then Def can use and abuse as well. So I do like the glass pick again. We seen him last week. We did see him do some pretty good work. He had some really nice kills as well, which I believe he is going to be the only glass player that I know of that we've seen being played in the Premiership so far. It would be nice to see them combo it with a Ying, but speaking to Vex, they say that nobody likes Ying, so they decided just to stick with the glass and his priority, a counter pick for smoke.
I guess they just rely on their own smoke grenades to make stuff happen, like you say, not really one of the Ying and her smokes. And that can be fine, because if you get the smoke down, you can still breach a couple of angles of that quite easily, which is kind of what Ying gives in terms of her gadget anyway. So aside from the couple of smokes, you don't really get a ton extra in that case. And as you say, they're comfortable with what they've got, what they know, what they're comfortable with. They'll just keep on going with that.
Just shows the difference between the two platforms, PC and console. As you look at PC, all we ever see is a Ying plus glass combo, which I would say does get a bit monotonous and a bit boring at some times. So I do like the fact that they're only going to bring a glass and possibly bring some more preferred operators that they like to play who's more aggressive, rather than the Ying, who she's not the most aggressive operator because her gun just doesn't do enough damage, and it is a very slow outputting gun, of course. Can drop a lot of rounds per minute, but at that time it doesn't really help in terms of actually being able to push in and get the kills.
They're going to breach the meeting room from above by taking Kid's bedroom upstairs and start looking up here towards the attic. Of course, now with both sides open, they can go for the full sweep. In fact, there's a rotation up the top here as well, so they know exactly where one of the defenders is. They go for the spray. Scythe is lurking as well. They've got a couple of eyes on, but nothing really concrete here to start dropping members of the enemy team. 50 seconds left to play, though, and they haven't really taken downstairs just yet. They've got to push in soon because they aren't even downstairs yet.
We are going to see Tumas with that aggressive Ela. Does get the kill on the def. It's going to be the Glaz out of commission. Once again, Glaz not doing anything inside the round. And this time Horizon have the man advantage, and if the shoe fits, then we will see just Horizon sticking with this man advantage and then just playing the fact that Vex don't have the time or the resources to start pushing down, as the smoke grenades are still going to come into play, of course, and it does look to be a Horizon victory over Vex this time. 15
seconds. I wouldn't quite write Vexed off yet. We've seen what they can do multiple times. They're just going to try and go all in. We've seen what happens also when players start dropping in through drop hatches all at once. But let's see if they can try and storm this point. They're going to try and go for it here. There goes one. They get one down. Scythe gets two. And suddenly, Vexed have turned this one around. But have they got the diffuser going down? Yes, they do. Get the final rotation coming through.
3-piece, 4-piece from Scythe.
Goes huge at the end of that round, and they get the diffuser down. Not that it matters, because Scythe is the man with the plan, and he brings down the majority of Horizon to bring what looked like a lost round over to the Vex side.
Whoa. And what I thought was going to be a Horizon victory, they have completely flipped it on its head. Vex should never have won that in that circumstances. I feel as if possibly Rom didn't do his job as soon as they heard that drop hatch down, especially whenever Mira seen them all drop. That was whenever Rom should have came and chucked a smoke grenade. That would have been their own finish, because then they couldn't have been able to push in towards the site as they did. So possibly a bit of a throw there for Horizon, but nonetheless, good gun skill from Scythe.
Tristan not having the best day either, yet to get a kill on the board. Has one assist to his name, but over the course of 5 rounds, probably not the proudest start you'd have been hoping for. You see Scythe there, obviously, of course, thanks to that 4K at the top with 8 kills. Definitely his kind of day to be running around a siege and slapping fools down, as he's been doing pretty much all map long so far. 4-on-1 Vex. If they win this round, then we go through onto the next map, which we discussed earlier on. It's going to be Skyscraper, and we've seen exactly how that plays out last week. It's a bit chaotic.
I think the Skyscrapers is more aggressive. There's not too many strats into it. I would say that favours both teams in these circumstances. We did see Horizon lose, so Vex know. Again, Vex have seen Horizon play Skyscraper. If they went back and watched the VOD, of course, they'll know what they expect from Horizon. Possibly Horizon themselves went back and checked the VOD and then seen exactly what they did wrong, and then they have managed to tweak a couple of things which should then help them in playing Skyscraper a lot better than what they did.
Let's see if they can close this one out. They're on the defense this time, Vex, and it definitely feels like they're more comfortable when they're attacking, because all that running gun is their favourite style of play. Over the meeting room on side, they'll be trying to hold this one for as long as they can, because let's be fair, for Horizon, the last defense they had on meeting room was held out very well. It was literally in the last 20 seconds that they lost the round, but they delayed Vex by a good 2.5 minutes. They had no real time to set up an attack downstairs. It was kind of a drop in and hope for the best. Fortunately for them, it worked out. But it may well not have if they'd managed to delay them by any more than a few more seconds.
We do see 3 people inside the meeting room, which is usually the norm. It's not something out of the ordinary, as again, them drop hatches being open. If stuff does start to happen inside the bomb site, then defenders can start rotating, and then does provide a little bit of more support for them 2 anchors, which of course is going to be Mira and Smoke. I'm glad to see that they are sticking with my 2 favourite operators for any defensive site, as again, Mira and Smoke is a must pick for this bomb site.
Mira pretty much a must pick on nearly all bomb sites. We've had a couple that we've identified where maybe not strictly the strongest. Kitchen and Trophy being the big one, of course, on the previous map that we saw in the series not too long ago between Xenos and Enix. I'm just curious to see if Horizon can start pulling anything back here, because we've seen repeatedly today, one team dominates the first map and then the other team will begin winning it back on the second. Doesn't always strictly mean that they will win the map, but they do come damn close.
Yeah. Minute and a half to go, and still no first blood. Again, smoke grenades are still going to be handy for next in this scenario, as I'm sure shortly we'll start seeing them being expended. But still, the meet and hold control is going to go in the way of Vexed. As any moment, Vex could start charging out and trying to waste a lot of time, as we do see a bit of action already start, as in Tumas is going to catch a glimpse of the bandit run across. Rom gets a kill on the Scythe, AJ gets a kill on the Joker, and Tumas does get the kill on the Def, and then another trade out. Nix gets a kill on the Rom, Tristan gets a kill on the Prox, and Nix gets a kill on to Tristan. This is exactly it. Max gets a kill on the AJ. Whoa, and Diffuser also went down in the middle of all of that, as it is going to be a 2v1 next against the rest of them, as 2max does get the kill with that Sophia, and that was the game I was expecting more of, as we do see them quick trade back and forth, and in the end Horizon does pull out the victor.
Good stuff. So 4-2 now. Vex still very much so in the driving seat, but figured out by Horizon there. And we were speaking again, back to your rock, paper, scissors analogy. It does feel like this running gun team is, in some rounds, at least being kind of sought out by Horizon and being outsmarted by them, if nothing else. Not strictly enough that it's winning them the map outright, but Horizon are definitely taking rounds where they look, it's a comfortable victory for them at the very least from Vexed.
Yeah, it just plays back to what we were talking about, where it hasn't really came down to a nail-biter victory. For the most part, whatever team wins, they won comfortably. It wasn't to say it was, you know, really close, or if they did this and they would have won. It's definitely sure that whoever won the round definitely did win the round. Possibly, maybe not that round whenever we've seen Scythe get the 4 kills, maybe a wee bit questionable if he should have won that round. They did in the end, as it was a very good push again, a little bit of misplay from Horizon. But for the most part, still Vexed in the driver's seat. At this time, it is going to be their turn attacking, so they do have more aggressive operators such as the Ashe and also the Twitch being available.
10 seconds remaining.
Mira, as always, that solid go-to pick. Nothing really surprising coming out in terms of picks this game. I mean, the Rook was kind of half a surprise earlier, but we saw exactly why it was so powerful. Like you were speaking about, that ACOG just so good at holding those long angles upstairs. That corridor does have a pretty long view range, so it only takes one tiny little head pixel to pop out, and it's pretty much an instant headshot for the Rook.
Do you see the Twitch being picked up? And I've talked about where I would only necessarily pick Twitch just to counter Mira windows. Prox is different because Proxa plays it solely for the gun. He loves the F2. I talked about it last week. F2 is a great gun, it always has been. But having also that Twitch along with someone who loves the gun does make for a very scary operator, especially if you're on the opposing team, knowing that there is a guy who is playing Twitch, can counter your Mira windows, and can also kill you in a heartbeat.
Clear.
Well, here comes the Hibana breach. At least they get some view into this meeting room so they can begin. And once again, they're pushed downstairs. They were held up here for a long time last time, and I'm pretty sure they don't want to find themselves in that same pinching situation once more. Diff definitely does not, as he brings down Joker for the only kill in this round.
Yeah, it's going to be the first blood going this way of Vex, though this is going to be starting off strong for them. Still 2 minutes on the round, and this time it seems to be a different approach from Vex. We previously didn't see this big tower being pressured at all. But you see actually Tristan getting a kill on Roxa. Still, meat and control is going to be in the way of Horizon, but they do have to deal with Death on that back push, especially whenever he knows that they also have control of his attic, as they have decided to push in from that attic area via that master bedroom, and are going to start pressuring 2max, who is in a quite tricky situation. I'm sure he is going to get gunned down very shortly, as there is going to be too many angles that he can watch. And I'd imagine he should be dead by now. Where we go, it's going to be Def them pushing in. And now they do have meat and control. Minute 15 to go on the clock. Still plenty of time. Smoke grenades are not going to waste out that long a time. So let's see where it does go from here.
The worst they could do here is rush like they usually do in the last 15 to 20 seconds of a round. Just take it slow and methodical. You've got that meeting room control. You don't need to rush anything. Get some drones down there if you have any left, and just try and get some of that intel. Once again, knowledge is power. If you can make use of that to get downstairs and start picking off 1 or 2 more kills, it's pretty much a clean sweep. You charge downstairs, take the last 2 members, and away you go.
Possibly you could afford to have somebody maybe drop another drop hatch from meeting, and it does just put more pressure on the defending team trying to defend in 2 angles, especially if you play somebody such as Def there, as we do see the smoke grenades being expelled and does stop one plant, and he is actually get downed, I believe, from that smoke grenade.
Whoops. As
now it is just going to be a time ticking down. It's going to waste even more, but then Def gets killed on the 2max. It's going to be Mira out of the picture as Tristan gets the kill on the Def from that flank. As now 20 seconds on the clock, and Nyx is now going to stick with the plant, safe covering from the stairs, and also EJ from the hatch. So Diffuser is going to go down, and the ball is going to be in Vexed court.
Nice plan to go back for the second attempt to make it work out for them, but Horizon only have 1 member left. It is, of course, Swipe, but has no grace left. It's Rum all on his 1, trying to watch his Diffuser, but with 3 members hovering over it, lurking like hawks. There isn't much for him to do, and Nyx will get that final kill, and first map will go the way of Vexed.
So great final round coming out from Vexed there. Meet and clear was a lot better than what we previously seen from them. I like the idea of Ash pushing in from the back tower, and then also that attic getting opened up, which was a great play as well, just being able to just close in 2-mass inside that meet, and eventually did get taken out.
It seemed all the play was around meeting room on this map as well. But early on, we saw a couple of plays going on around kids' bedroom, and there's a lot of scrapping up there. And then everything moved downstairs with meeting room being the main battleground, as you might say, between the two teams. And it felt for a while that Horizon did have a pretty good strategy. They were able to keep Vexed at bay and make them constantly be guessing and trying to find a way in. And then we saw in that one round when they had about 20 seconds left to attack that Horizon actually pulled off a really good strat. Just wasn't quite enough to stop the raw gun skill coming through, you could say. And I've got to say, Scythe this week has really stepped up.
Really good.
Doing a really good job. That 4K especially, the big highlight
They shouldn't have won that round in general. Honestly, they shouldn't have won that round.
No, that should have been taken, like we said, 20 seconds left to go. That's when teams start making mistakes. However, quick replays coming through for you guys once again. We'll see that sweet, sweet 4K once more coming through from Diff.
So 2-mass with more opening kills to his name, not as much
early on
last week, but nonetheless, I think Horizon did still put up a pretty good fight. They had some questionable plays, which sometimes did work for them, but some very rookie mistakes, as again, Smoke not being able to rotate and stop that drop where Scythe got the 4K. That should have been bread and butter for a Smoke player to defend, especially looking at different Smokes such as Kizza, who is great at being able to know, like, look at this is whenever this push should have been stopped straight away by Rum, but nonetheless Scythe does push in, does get 2, and then he does of course finish off with the other ones. Yeah,
really good play by him, just completely on point, knew exactly where all of the aggressors would come from as well, which is, me, if not anything else, game sense can carry you a long way. You might not be the best shot in the game, but if you've got that game sense and you know when to expect an enemy and where, you point the gun in the general direction, you press fire, and 9 times out of 10 you will get a kill from that.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that, especially for 2 aggressive sides, pre-firing is going to be a big thing for most aggressive teams, especially combination with droners. Droning and pre-firing is going to win you that gunfight 9 times out of 10, of course, unless it's going to be like a lucky kill from one of the defenders. But it definitely does seem to be a clash of titans at the moment, as both teams are just headbutting each other with the amount of aggression coming out from both of them.
I am very surprised by Horizon, to be fair. I fully expected Vex would just steamroll over this based on how well they played last week, but Horizon have really stepped up, to be fair. And I'm quite pleased to see them playing this well. It's the same as Fable earlier on. We saw them both play last week, and I thought, all right, they've gone 1-on-1. They're both kind of on the same sort of level, but they are kind of like a tier below everyone else. They did really show up, and I think both teams are showing that they are definitely not to be ignored, that they can contend for one of those top 2 spots.
Yeah, so looking at our next map is, of course, going to be Skyscraper. We did see Horizon get beat last week by Fable, but I would say that Fable definitely won that map due to reaction. Maybe they might have a bit of a replay dealing with people such as Scythe and Proxy. But we will we'll have to see what happens. We will find out just after the break. But before we jump to that, once again, another reminder for you guys that we have the ESL Go 4s on the go on Xbox and PS4, which is what I forgot to mention to you earlier. So for all you salty PS4 fans in Twitch chat, that is for you. Head over to esl.pm/go4r6uk and you can get involved, kicking off on the 6th of February. So your chance to get yourself involved and play some competitive Rainbow Six. If you think you know better than these guys on the screen, or this guy sat right next to me, that's your time to show it. So do get involved with that. As said, we will jump to a very quick break. Completely distracted there, never mind, completely ignore me. However, when we come back from the break, we will be going into that second map between Vexed and Horizon. It's going to be an interesting one. Skyscraper coming to you very, very soon. We'll catch you in a few minutes.
Try box. Stairs, stairs, stairs.
Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
With the power to capture comes the need to share.
Check this.
Followed by the eyeballs and loud mouths chomping at the bit.
That was nuts.
The fate of the game rests in your hands.
Check this out. No.
Oh my god.
Leave nothing to chance. Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back after a very nice short break. Demo here needed his evening milk, but now we are ready to go with the second game, Skyscraper, coming up to you very, very shortly. This one's going to be interesting because we saw it a couple of times last week, and well, Vex have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that looking at the side of Horizon, who have picked them up, let's not forget that Oregon was Vex's pick, so you would favour them. They have picked it over the other two maps. Looking at the fact that the Horizon have picked Skyscraper, they picked it last week against Fable.
Wrong way around, sorry. Horizon picked it last week, so it's their map they'll be looking forward to.
They lost 5-2. I would imagine if they pick it again, they probably would have went and tweaked a couple of stuff in their different strats. So hopefully we're going to see something new from them, and hopefully this time they will be able to win Skyscraper, or we'll be see the same old, and then Vexed are going to go and take the map on Skyscraper.
Well, there'll be no reaction this time to run through with the 5k, so let's see if Vex can repeat the success that Fable had last week against Horizon, or if Horizon will end their woes tonight against Vex and bring this to a 1-on-1. Vex are pretty confident they'll get the 2-0. Horizon are definitely keen to stop them. Let's see if they can do it here on Skyscraper.
So jumping into our first defensive site off the map is going to be that karaoke and tea room, which we talk about a lot. It is going to be that primary bomb site that a lot of teams do like to favour, simply due to the fact that there's not a lot of ways in to the tea room and also the karaoke. You look at karaoke, only one window jump in. Look at tea room, only one window jump in. No drop hatches as well, which is another reason why I'm not a big fan of Skyscraper, is because there is only going to be 2 drop hatches in the entire map, which isn't usually the norm, the way that Ubisoft do develop maps. But they went for something different with Skyscraper. And also, Skyscraper's a map such as Chalet where you can't actually access the roof as well. So it is a bit of death balcony, which I like to call, all the way around the map, as any defender could jump out at any second and pick you while you are going to go for that swing in. As again, whenever you do rappel, it is a very significant sound, and then also the swing in is very significant, as you do hear the rope start to swing, and then it's a very easy run out, as again, sound is always going to be a big factor inside Siege.
It's also considered as well that those balconies are quite long and all in one direction. They don't weave in and out too much. Like, you jump out and you can see probably half of the map quite easily no matter where you are. So one to be aware of on the attacking side. However, Vexed are the ones on attack. I'm pretty sure they're quite keen to these strategies and the more crazy things that we might see, such as the run-outs, because that's their style of play. Let's see though if Horizon can catch them out, or if Vexed are prepared.
So it seems to be that they are going to try and pressure this geisha room, as typically we do see bandits inside their bandit training, what have you, do whatever they need just to waste a lot of time. Tristan gets a first blood on the procs, as he was ready for that aggressive push, as then we do see Def with that Ash launcher does get rid of any bandits on that geisha wall, which then does of course allow Scythe to go for that Thermite and then start pushing in towards that geisha, which is going to be that main stronghold area that attackers want to start pushing from.
Well, Diff's going for a bit of a marathon around the map. It seems Skyscraper are a pretty good place. It's big enough to go for a bit of exercise. Still rotating around to make sure they can cover off some additional angles. They are getting all these little pokes off from below. They're getting rid of the gadgets as best they can. So like you say, they can go for that Thermite wall and the plant just inside if they want to. C4 not quite catching anyone though. Spotting one on the door. Rum gets a trade onto Nixiano. Diff not managed to pick anyone off though. And he is the sole attacker on this side. If they lose Diff here, they only have Scythe to go through. However, Scythe has been the MVP so far. This could be his time to step up and once again carry his team through the map.
Another way that attackers want to try and take T-Rim and Karaoke is controlling this drum, as drum is going to be that main way of cut-off points for many rotates for defenders, and at the moment Rum has done a great job actually defending it, especially where Tristan is also going to be sneakily behind the drum and does manage to pick up the kill on the Def. 2 members up is going to be the Buck. Only the Buck, as we do see inside, get picked up, and then EJ does get the trade out, but at this stage Tristan has done the damage, and it is going to be all down to EJ, and it doesn't look very likely from this position.
EJ's been very quiet this week compared to his performance last week, so I'm not really expecting him to stand up, especially with all these holes in the ceiling. Let's see what he can do with a grenade, though. He's going to go for it and see who he can tag out. Almost kills himself with a grenade there. Bit of a mistiming. He knows.
He knows he's just given up at this point. I actually thought he was going to kill himself for that grenade, how long he held it. But yeah, again, a great defensive hold from Horizon, being able to shout that drum area, of course, and also very quick reactions from Tristan, knowing that they are going to try and pressure that downstairs, and did get a very early pick onto a main key player for Vexed inside proxy on that Twitch, and who also, Twitch could have been a very big factor for getting rid of some of the mirror windows inside the tea room and also the karaoke as well, as EJ is now just going to start pushing in, and this mirror window is going to show exactly where he is, and it should be a quick easy peek for this mirror. Time runs out, as I believe it is going to be the Bandit getting the kill as Joker gets a kill to his name, and Horizon take the lead.
Pretty comfortable there for Horizon, and well played. And again, this is where we thought that we would see teams like Vexed coming on, these run and gunners who rely purely on gun skill, then, you know, too much intricate strategy. Coming up against the teams who've got that strategy and some half-decent gun skill, they will find themselves getting torn asunder by them, and it feels like Horizon have figured Vexed out at least a little bit. However, it was only the first round. Again, a Horizon choice maps, you do expect them to at least take the early advantage.
More aggression coming out from Tristan. I thought that was a very smart play, and knowing that Rum is going to start to get pressured, they're going to be focused solely on Rum, and then him being able to jump out that jump onto that balcony area beside the drum then just gives another angle that Vex aren't going to be expecting, and again he did manage to pick up 2 kills from it before EJ did get the trade.
Well, let's see how Vex fare on their defense now. They're the ones who've got to hold back Horizon, who are no doubt coming armed with their own strats to try and take over these rooms. Karaoke, always one that tends to get ignored. A seems to always be the one that tries to push for, because I think B, arguably a bit of a harder take. You have that one window entry point, as you mentioned a couple of times, and you just, sometimes what you see with some teams do is shoot out all of the bottom wall alongside A and B, and you basically get 3 sites here from the very back, as you can see on the screen, so you're on the center of the screen right now next to A, you can lie down behind those 2 walls because they're both solid walls, and you essentially have a super safe point to be able to lie down yourself and just take pot shots into B to bring down any diffusers.
Yeah, especially that back area in A. It's a really, really hard place for many attackers getting rid of defenders, especially with people such as a Rook, who's a heavy armor, has an ACOG, can go for them longer angle peaks. Also, an Echo is a great addition to any tea room and karaoke, as Echo's then be able to sit in behind there safe and sound with his Echo drone, just doing what Echo does best and waste time.
Yeah, it makes that room a little bit too loud. It may be a karaoke, but no one wants it to be quite that loud to the stage. It's literally deafening you and preventing you from planting the diffuser.
Yep.
However, once again, just taking the downstairs on their side. Horizon going to start sieging from below. If nothing else, it's causing distractions for those that are trying to push upstairs. But right now, bottom floor kitchen especially seems to be the name of the game. Almost tagging out one of the operators upstairs.
Yeah, it's the same way that Vex pushed in. They want to get rid of this guy Bandit tricking. That Bandit is the main problem for why many attacks fail, because having that Bandit there, it just wastes so much time. And sometimes teams don't even think to go below and get rid of him, because that is the only way you can get rid of him, unless you manage to get like a lucky nade bounce or just simply push another way. But for the most part, going downstairs is the easiest way that you can get rid of anybody Bandit tricking, just like any other map.
Yeah, you can hold Geisha so well with him if he's holding down that wall. Because, of course, it's only that one wall that leads outside. So that, for most teams, is the main entry point, which is why so many defensive teams will set up in Geisha with the 2 walls either side, and usually a mirror to accompany as well, so you have that vision.
Yeah, so half the round already gone. No first blood yet. Def still does have control of this drum area. Nobody pushed in just yet. Last time we did see Horizon bring the mute, which was placed inside that drum area, which made it hard for Vex to try and pinpoint exactly where he was. Almost like the way Vigil does as well. We say Vigil's kind of like a roaming mute in a sense, because he can't stop them drones. EJ gets the first blood on the 2 mass, trying to play aggressive on them stairs, and at the moment, Vex are holding strong. They have their angles. Each person is holding one angle that the attackers are going to try and push in from. May it be EJ holding the main stairs, Bandit holding this B door, Vex holding Vex Def holding the drum area, as we did see him get a kill. Then on to Tristan, as we do see a Bandit trick coming out from that's going to be Joker. That's going to be the other side of that Geisha room.
There we go.
As we do see some more action being fired out. But at this stage, Vex are in complete control.
Shooting at the bottom of that wall once again, even gives you coverage from the window. Someone runs in through that window, you can spray at their feet, and if nothing else, at least get about half of their health away. In best case scenario, of course, you do bring them down entirely, and they remain injured in the point for you to easily pick off. And again, the smoke comes in strong. 25 seconds left on the clock as 2max manages to bring down Sight. That's their first kill of the round. Can they do it in a 4 versus 3 or a 3 versus 4? If you're looking from Horizon's side here, 2max incredibly low. They're going to get run on, but actually manages to spray down EJ through the Ella grenade as well. 3 versus 2 is going to round things out. Vex trying to prevent the push in from Horizon, and you think they'll do so. They're all so low. Blackbeard, the sole survivor, he's incredibly low right now, and a knife to the face from Diff, followed up by a teabag, is going to secure that round for Vexed.
So a great hold from Vex. They had every angle cover, and the the smoke again showing why he is so important for this particular bomb site, as he can shut down anybody pushing in from that karaoke, and also that backstairs area, as we did almost see 2max getting taken out by them smoke grenades. So in turn, I don't think it was a weak attack from Horizon, but more or less a very strong defense from Vexed.
Very good so far. Diff starting to step up as well. It's almost like he heard me in the first game saying Diff generally has been pretty quiet. It was last week. Had a few moments in the first map where he looked pretty good, but now he's topping that leaderboard and showing that it's not all about Proxy. In fact, Proxy has been extremely quiet so far on Skyscraper.
Possibly just the map preference, which we talked a lot about.
I think it's comfort for sure. Yeah, same with Nasher, you're absolutely right.
So we are going to go downstairs this time to a kitchen barbecue defense, which I really like as a defensive site. I think it's almost the same way you play karaoke and tea room by defending that Geisha, as Geisha is going to be main way that attackers want to try and push in and then gain control of the hatch, of course.
That's the big worry for me, is that if you lose control of Geisha so early on, then you just basically sacrifice the point entirely, because as we see on so many other maps, you have a buck, you have a sledge, anything else that can open up the floor, and the defenders that are sat on point are generally in a lot of trouble. However, you do have good angles that you can hold. If you blow open a couple of walls with some impact grenades, for example, you get really good angles onto the point that can basically watch the whole thing from one single angle.
Yeah. The upstairs control is so crucial for this bomb site to work, because if the attackers manage to clear it out within a minute, that gives Sledge or a Buck 2 minutes to start opening up every angle he can, because let's remember, that whole entire top floor is destructible. There's a lot of verticality in Skyscraper, a lot of wood, and definitely being able to take control of that Geisha, of course, does give the end that foothold, as 2max gets the opening kill onto Def. He is no stranger to opening kills, of course. And still, that is going to be Horizon leading the charge in this round.
Yeah, Vex definitely looking a little more contested than they were maybe last week and somewhat in this first map. Horizon definitely looking a lot more comfortable, or so it seems at the minute, on Skyscraper.
Yeah.
Still just trying to, I think more than anything else, they're still trying to struggle to get control of that room, which is what they want, as we mentioned a couple of times. Yes, there's a big gaping hole in the ceiling, but it's not quite enough to push through. They need to make sure they get more control upstairs, and relatively soon, because they've already lost a minute.
There seems to be no drum contestant being put out by Horizon in this scenario, which does then give Prox a free range to start pushing in towards that corner area, of course. Looking at the way Vexed are attacking it, it seems to be
more wood.
Seems to be that they don't really know how to attack it from my perspective. I think they're just footering about outside, not doing a lot, just saying, okay, what we do, and I'm not entirely sure what do you think we should do, and they're spending most of this round figuring out how to actually push out these roamers. As if they did do a couple of strats, run over Skyscraper, then they might have been able to know, okay, we're going to go for this attack, which we practice, and then that makes things a lot easier whenever you actually do get inside the game.
Indeed they do, and some kills are finally being traded back and forth once more. EJ picking one up, but Proxy once again going down, not having the time of his life on Skyscraper. Seems maybe a little bit lost. Some of these angles that Horizon are pulling out on him, definitely catching him by surprise. Over now in a 3 versus 3, either side really has the opportunity to take this one away. Vexed, of course, on the attack, have that Blackbeard still on side. They have the Thatcher, they have the Thermite, they have everything they need to be able to breach into point, but they still want to try and go from above.
At this stage, it seems to be that Vexed are starting to grip up, which isn't the best strategy, especially whenever you're trying to push a really big chokehold point, especially that drop hatch inside that kitchen, as there's going to be somebody inside that delivery area which is going to shut you down, as well as anybody inside the barbecue room which is going to also shut you down, especially that Horizon has opened up most of that wall. EJ does get the kill on the Joker, so that may be their entryway into the bomb site. Safe now is going to go for the rotate. EJ not entirely sure where's he going to go, but has decided to pick this bar, pushing in towards then this main lobby area. But at the moment, Vex do have control.
They have 20 seconds to play with 15 seconds to make that. They have the diffuser on side, but they've got to get into the point quickly without being sprayed down either. And they've got the smoke right below their drop point. This is almost perfect in terms of the setup. And Horizon have already got 2 kills, and they managed to close everything out. They left it far too late here, Vex, and some counter teabagging from Rum. That was like teabagging on speed. The guy was mashing that button.
Yeah, so a really fought out defense. I would say that Vexed didn't know what to do attacking a barbecue kitchen. I don't think that they're ready for that, as once again we've talked about it, they don't run strats, they just go with the flow. The flow was definitely out of sync in that situation, and Horizon, they definitely wanted Vex to grip up and start dropping down that kill shoot. And whenever the smoke grenades, whenever you're landing inside a smoke grenade along with barbed wire and Ayla mines, you can't win that as an attacker.
Well, let's see what they opt to try and do now. Going for the castle, definitely a bit of a stranger pick. However, with the way things are panning out, probably not the most crazy of choices. Looking at the kill board as well, on this map, there have only been 2 members of Vexed racking up any kills. Vexed, well, Vexed Diff, of course. Diff and EJ. Proxy has been incredibly quiet. We keep on saying it, but it's just very surprising to see, given how well he has played previously.
Yeah, again, I would just say it comes down to map preference. I think Proxy does well with more close quarter maps. I would say Skyscraper is a very large map in design, of course. It has a lot of long angles, may that be window shots through the corridors, may that be just long corridor shots, may it be from this big long corridor we see splitting both bomb sites in half. So maybe that might just be just map preference in general. We've seen him perform very well on Oregon, which is more a close range map. And maybe just the different operators that he does play. Each operator performs well on different maps, except Dela, who just performs well on every map, of course. But maybe Skyscraper, not the best map for Bandit sometimes.
Sometimes. There's opportunities, I think, when you're defending certain points. You know, T-Room definitely the big one that screams out is very useful there. And once again, they're going for this upstairs hold. So maybe Vexed here going... We've already seen them try to attack this point. It didn't go too well for them. But maybe they think they have their ideas about how to defend it, because they are setting up, once again, as you said before, in Geisha. They want to hold that for as long as they possibly can. Yeah,
they also have that drum control as well, which we've seen Def play really well. This time I think he's put a bit more resources into it, as he didn't directly play inside that drum area, is more on the drum door leading in towards that T-room corridor, of course. So, and I would imagine there's also going to be an Elamine, of course. That's going to make it even harder for Tumas to push in, as Def is going to look to go for these aggressive shots that do get fired back between each other. Neither one being able to land the deadly blow. But it does seem to be that Tumas came out better in that engagement. Not even getting scratched up, which was quite strange to me. But he does get scratched up now, as it is then going to be Tumas pushing in towards that drum area and does control it now.
Bit of a crazy trade going, trying to run through and go for the kill whilst being struck out by the Elamine, but Phil thought he could have it. See the Ella just lay down here at the top of the stairs, opposite, so close to attacking each of the round. Both actually quite low on health. There goes the tag though, and Diff will win that trade. Tumas falls down for the first kill of the round.
Tristan then does get the refrag, and Diff gets another one on the Tumas. It's going to be the buck out of play, which is going to be a really big operator, especially we talked about with all the destructibility that, of course, Skyscraper does perform. We still do have Prox upstairs as well, as it seems to be the only one man is going to try and challenge this, which is going to be Joker playing that Habana. And at this stage, it does seem to be that Vexed will go on to take this round if what they have in place does follow.
Yeah, Joker needs to be very, very wary up here, because no doubt that angle is being watched every couple of seconds. No doubt I'm going to spot that through the window though, so just needs to be very wary. He knows someone's going to be on this other side. Yeah. If he tries to jump in here, he's going to be in so much trouble. Not only is he jumping into barbed wire, it's straight into the line of fire. Oh, drops through the hatch and just about gets away with that one. Good recall time though. RGL clearly saying, right, it's time to back away, guys. However, the hatch is going to work against them here. 1 versus 2. Can Joker turn it around for them? This is so risky to push down these stairs though, because someone is lurking. In fact, both members are lurking on this side. Def, with the one tap through the wall, will get hold of Joker, and down he goes as Vexed once again take a round.
More aggression coming out from Vexed. This time a very big room game coming out from Def. Of course, he tried primarily to try and hold that drum. He backed away. And then possibly Tumas, instead of being patient, knowing that... Actually, I believe both of them were being very patient, waiting for each other, who was going to peek first. But then at this time it does seem to be that it was Tumas playing aggressive, and Def was able to punish him for that, and it is going to be level once again.
Proxy ruined it by getting a kill. It's no longer a 2-man band. Come on, man, he's ruined it for me. Like, it would have been true meme if he'd just gone like 0 kills, 0 assists, just all deaths.
I don't think he would want that.
That'd be the dream week. No, because then you can paint it off as you were playing around, whereas if you've got like 1 or 2 kills, it's like, yeah, you were trying and you just sucked this week. Because I've played against the guy. He's good. I'm giving that much. But I can say in this set he sucks. It's fine.
So back upstairs to Horizon's defense on that T-room and Karaoke. Bringing that mute once again. I believe we've seen them also bring it last week, where they did try and stop a lot of drones coming in towards that drum room, of course, as the mute jammers last time did stop any drone play coming in from Def, and Tristan was able then to take full advantage of that. So he had an excellent first round. Let's see if he can recreate it from here.
10 seconds left before insertion.
You were trying, you just sucked. Quote for 2018 for me.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Using that in future weeks as well. However, future weeks for Vexed. Hopefully, we'll be going better than what this week has gone, because it's been pretty close on this map so far. Horizon definitely putting them to the test here on Skyscraper, and it's clearly showing, I think, that Horizon at least know the map a bit better than Vexed. They know the angles, they know the strats. Vexed equally know these strats too, just not how to execute it into the same efficiency that we're seeing Horizon.
Now this time it seems to be instead where we typically seen Def push in from that main door, main reception area, leading in beside them bedrooms, then pushing in through the office stairs as well. Then he decided to push in from this drum area. This time it's going to be a bit different, as he has came in from the kitchen side, possibly knowing that somebody will be downstairs, which they are correct in this case, as is going to be Ayla, as the hunt is going to be on. But Ayla does scurry away back upstairs and has gave downstairs control in the way of Vexed.
Let's see what they can do with this. The Buck once again being picked up and doing what Buck does best, and basically reconstructing a new home, or in this case knocking down the old one first before trying to build a new one. Trying to build a victory for Vexed. All 5 members still standing at this point, a minute into the round. No one has actually died, although this may be the first one. Diff almost getting tagged out, does manage to retreat. Didn't get tagged out by too many bullets, so is sat at half health right now. So still is of some use to his team.
This time Geisha has been taken out, as that bandit is going to be gone from that bandit trick. So it does then give Sai free range to go for this plant. And talking about last game in Oregon, where I talked about that Vex don't like Ying, they're bringing the Ying this time, but then no Glaz. So it is quite interesting to see that they think Ying is going to be a better operator for pushing T-Room and Karaoke. Maybe they think that it's not working out for them as well as previously in Oregon, and they want to change something up. As Nick has got the kill on the 2 Max, and then Tristan does get the kill onto that Thermite, which again is always going to be a big kill, getting rid of anybody being able to get rid of reinforced walls.
I'm a big fan of the Ying when you can assault via drop hatches, but in this case, like you say, there's only like 2 on the map, so it's not a huge deal. The reason why I think they're taking it here is because they're really struggling to get an assault going from drum. Trying to push from there in towards the points, it's not been easy. So getting that Ying Candela in there, just getting something in there to distract them and at least make them look away for even a second, that can be the difference between them being able to push in successfully.
And simply hearing a Candela device go in just puts the fear as a defender.
Oh, where are they coming from?
Yeah, just know, okay, they're coming for me, I should run now or else I'm going to die. And that is exactly the mentality that I believe they're going to go for. We see a bit of an engagement here between Proxy and Joker, but then Joker does manage to fall back, and then from across the way over in that office area is going to be Rum, opening up a kill hole for himself, and then does start to spray down Proxy. We do see Tristan get a kill on the EJ. Joker does finish off Proxy, as last 2 men up is going to be Nix and also Def. If there's going to be one man to do it, it would be Def, as he gets the kill in on the Joker. Def is going to be inside the bomb site, inside this Karaoke area. All Nix needs to do is just slow it down. He does have 1 Candela device that is going to clear out the corridor. Defuse has went down,
he's injured,
but Def has been injured. So let's see where it does go from here.
This can't be good, but he can try and do what he can. He almost has the angle there, but misses it. He can try and peek for it if he wants to, but in the 2v1 situation, there'll always be someone at least watching that window, or so you would hope. Tristan looking over for the run out. In fact, here, this could be very, very dangerous. Runs onto the Claymore, though. This is going to go into a 1v1. Ron gets onto Nixiano, though. Has he managed to bring it back round? Yes, he has. Can he get it in time? Yes, he will. Great clutch turnaround by Rum, and Horizon will take the lead against Vexed.
Great coordination from Rum and Tristan, both of them saying, I'll peek from Geisha, and then I'll peek from the run-out, going all the way around the building. And they did manage to catch Nix by surprise. And again, I would say that possibly that LMG possibly didn't do the work that it needed to in them circumstances, like I was talking about. It just doesn't do enough damage compared to some of the SMGs in the game.
Absolutely. You can see kind of based on the kill distribution as well between the 2 teams that for Vexed, there's only ever really 1 or 2 members really shining. On Horizon, everyone is kind of playing their part. This is what we saw from 1UP last week against Vexed. And it just so happens Vexed were just kind of overpowering for the most part. This week it's looking a lot more balanced, and Horizon, if they take us to the 3rd 1-1 of tonight, I'll be very, very surprised. 3rd 1-1, made a 2 already.
Yeah. I could honestly see Horizon now taking the victory on this map. They have definitely changed up their tactics for Skyscraper. I don't think that Vex were ready for Skyscraper, especially looking at that barbecue and kitchen. They were in disarray. They didn't know how to push it. They spent more time walking about outside the map rather than actually getting in and start killing some of them roamers up top. But now we will see Vex with a defense, and it will be this time this Karaoke and T-Room once again. Def at the moment does seem to be doing the carrying for his team and has pulled them out through the mud.
Well, can he pull them all the way through is the big question, because right now Horizon are slowly starting to run away with Skyscraper. of course, have at least another 2 rounds to play through yet, and we've seen that Vexed are more than capable of being able to win these rounds. It just feels, at times, Horizon, again, know the map ever so slightly better. They know the angles ever so slightly better. They've got the strategies down to a T ever so slightly better than what Vexed have. I'm not saying Vexed are bad at the map, but for the most part, Horizon just seems to excel in it. And you can understand. Yeah, you can absolutely understand why they picked the map.
I think that Horizon have a lot more smarter plays, a lot more plays which you wouldn't really think of, but they have, which then does excel them quite to that next level of strats, of course. Coming from the side of Vexed, I think that they have relied heavily on the way that Diff has been playing tonight. I would say that Proxa, who we thought was going to do really well tonight, has took his gas off. We haven't really seen Scythe do much from the last game. He's been very quiet as well. It has just relied solely on Diff, and like we were talking about previously in the Xenos match, where Xenos, G just didn't have, they had a couple of guys who just did nothing, and ultimately that did lose in that bank game.
Rom definitely liking this Blackbeard at the minute. Had a few good kills with it across this map thus far, and already getting that opening one. It's going to help at least relieve some pressure into Geisha, meaning they can push into that one, start taking control of the floor, and actually get a presence inside a skyscraper rather than just worrying about hovering around on these balconies.
Yeah, he has been playing very well on that Blackbeard, knowing the angles that he can pre-fire, of course. Typically, you'll see most people inside that Geisha just holding an angle on the double window. Diff with another kill. It's going to be onto 2 mats this time. That's going to be the Ash Slayer taken out of commission. And as we do see that drum control is still going to be in the hands of Diff, who's been very, very good at holding that side, as it seems to be that possibly Tristan might want to go for this push, but instead is going to drone it out to make sure it is safe.
It was a bit lazy from Tumas there. He turned around immediately to look upstairs rather than on the actual stairs itself, and Diff was just like, okay, there's a guy with his back to me right here who hasn't... Yeah, exactly. There was no drone to lead up there. He was looking the wrong way. Everything was just a bit messy about that play for Tumas. Even asking for a drone before you push up there, it may take an extra 10-15 seconds, but it keeps you alive. And in this case, being down a member can cost you a lot. However,
that would have been a big kill as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's 4 on 4. If they got that kill into Diff, that would have completely changed the dynamic of this round into a 5v3 instead of a 4 versus 4.
So now we do see Max down inside that restaurant area. Is going to start to use this destructibility with that buck shotgun, but then he is going to get punished from the holes that he made himself, as Scythe does get the kill onto that buck. The verticality is going to be taken out on the side of Horizon, and at this stage, 30 seconds to go, still a couple of gas grenades I believe left for Nyx, and Horizon now are starting to slow down the play.
That's what they want with 30 seconds left. Oh, nice tap through the wall onto Joker. However, the 4 versus 2, they've got to get a plant down somewhere, but all he's got to do is stand up and go for the spray.
Pretty much.
I really like what he's done here with this mirror window.
This gives complete control of this B, rather than putting it on that reinforced wall, which we see a lot of teams doing. He has instead put it inside the A bomb site. Again, that is very easily counterable for anybody going over towards them A windows, as then you're able to get a sight line on the mirror window. But you see Tristan with a bit of fight back, gets the kill on the EJ, and then does get a kill on the Diff, but the Nyx does get another kill, peeking up and down through this mirror window.
It's kind of bunny hopping up and down here with the spray. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It works out wonderfully for him, though. And Vex at least bring it back to 3-3. Now, I'm curious to see if either team can 2-0 here, because it has been very back and forth between the two of them. Neither team really running away with it and taking 2 or 3 rounds in quick succession. It has basically been 1 for 1 so far, and if it carries on that way, of course, we find ourselves going into overtime.
I think in a matchup where both teams are equal, as we do see 3 and 3, whoever wins this round, it's going to have a lot of mentality on the other team, as they know that the team who just won the round, they're in match point. They have control. They know that then the other team's going to have to pull something miraculous out of the hat to then actually take it back into overtime. And then also, as a team who is in the deficit, you're thinking, if we mess up in this round, we're out, we've lost. And that is really big in terms of momentum for the two different teams.
Well, let's see which team's momentum carries them further. A pretty good round for Vex just now, making them at least some inspiration in this round, but things have changed once again, and we saw what happened last time they tried to attack this site. It didn't work out too well for them.
Hopefully this time they have learned from their mistakes. They should now have an idea, right? We've seen them sit here in this position. We also seen one here. Where are they weak from? Yeah, okay, they're weak from this position. Let's try and pressure that, and then we should gain control of upstairs a lot quicker than what we did. Then that allows them to have plenty of time to beat out them smoke grenades, as in the end, even though they did take control of upstairs, it was the smoke grenades which really did come into big effect. And I think if Vex are able to push up and gain control of upstairs a lot quicker, then they shouldn't run into that circumstance.
Well, let's see if that works out for them. Round starting off now. The attack begins from Vexed, where they no doubt feel most comfortable. Pick up the Blackbeard this time, so taking a bit of inspiration from Rum. Really, really loves this Blackbeard. Been using it pretty much every single round there on the attack, and to great success in some rounds. To some, a little less so when he finds himself as the final operator remaining. Blackbeard, not strictly the best for you because he's quite a slow guy.
No, but again, Blackbeard isn't really used for an aggressive attack operator. He is more...
Don't really have a choice when you're the last guy, though.
Yeah, he's more the passive player.
He holds an angle very well.
Yeah, he just holds the angle on the windows, especially in a map like Skyscraper where he does excel. Then it does make him quite a big threat, but still, at the moment, upstairs control is still in the hands of Horizon, but I would imagine not for long.
That's if Vex choose to go for the push onto it, which they are doing right now. They've already got control of Drum, so at least from here they can choose which way they want to go. Catch out and isolate any roamers if they want to. Not that they'll be behind them, because they do have full control of Drum right now, just trying to find their way into this upper floor. But again, they've still got to take hot control of top floor before they even go and towards the bottom. It feels almost like you're trying to siege T-Room, when realistically the bomb isn't even there.
Ooh,
whoa, bad
time
push.
to look away. I was quick thinking from Joker, knowing that Drum control was in hands of Vex, where they like to push from a lot. And then he was able... I think it was a bit of luck there on his side that Diff was looking the wrong way. But at this stage, still upstairs control for Horizon. 2-mass on these back stairs, which does allow him to rotate upstairs in through the T-room and then via in through the Drum, of course. But then also does provide some access back down in towards the site if things do go messy.
2-mass just lurking, seeing who they can catch out on the top floor. The answer right now is no one, because no one is really hanging around. But 4 versus 2 now in favour of Horizon. They hold the point pretty well at this point. Vex just don't really seem to have a way in.
No. They seem to be stalling again like we've seen from them last round. They don't know what to do, which is always a worry for a team who we think could go on the Prem. If they get met up with these different maps where they're not entirely sure with the different strats that a lot of bomb sites hold, then that's whenever they could run into a lot of problems, as we do see 2-max picking the kill on the Nyx and 2-max getting the kill on the Scythe. Can Horizon get one more round and win this map?
It definitely feels like it, and I think it's like you just said there, like the run and gun kind of, you know, cocky attitude is fun, but ultimately it's not going to win you every single map. You need to be able to, I think, at least have a basic level of strategizing on it. And yes, they've got some because they know where to reinforce, they know where to stick operators and what angles to hold. It's just when it goes one step further. Once the round starts getting a bit more fluid and you start losing members or things don't go how you planned, what do you do next? And maybe that's down to the IGL coming through for Vex not really having that knowledge. But that's definitely a weak point that teams will try to exploit. And the question then is, do you ban away Skyscraper? Because that also means that you can't ban away one of the other maps you're weak on, meaning you've also got to practice that. So either way you look at it, they've got to try and make sure they're at least on the right page when it comes to maps like this.
Looking at Vexed, if you were a team and you were to ban out the more common maps that a lot of teams know how to play, your Organs, your Chalets, your Clubhouse, that would then put Vexed having to play maps such as Consulate, such as Bank, your strat-heavy maps, which could really be a big upset for Vexed. So I definitely think that if the right maps are banned against Vexed, then you do have a good chance of winning.
It does feel that way at times. However, sometimes Vex do have a bit of a tendency to just steamroll their opponents with their aggressive nature. But Horizon have said, no, that ends today. We find a way around you and we beat you at your own game. Or we just play our game and force you to lose to it. That's also seems to be working pretty well. And now they're going to try and go for a defense upstairs, bringing the Castle to the field this time as well.
Yeah, Castle is going to just lock down most of that geisha area, of course, and then also a couple of windows if they choose to use the castle in that way. But for the most part, the geisha control is always going to be crucial, as we always have talked about. It's a bit like the way in Consulate and Cafe earlier on today with the piano control. Geisha just gives so much control, may it be via, if it's a tea room and karaoke, that's then going to be the main way to push in towards them bomb sites. And of course, on a barbecue and kitchen, that hatch is going to be a really key item for the attackers to gain control of. And then, of course, then that does give complete access to that B bomb site.
I know that one's lurking at least on Drum. Can they force him off is the next big question, because until they get him off Drum, they can't really control this area. Still lurking over the top, almost gets a headshot onto 2-max as well. That would have been a very scary situation, but they're going to try and push in 2-max and 2-max. Stacking together to try and see what they can do, but this barbed wire is definitely giving them some grief.
Flash grenades is going to help him now push in. Did it catch him or did Diff? I think it did catch Diff. He has decided to run down, but then he is going to come back upstairs for more aggression coming in. He knows that Elamine has went off, so he knows they are going to be inside the Drum. And once again, more just this aggressive playstyle that I would imagine Horizon aren't used to coming out from a player such as Def, as the flash grenades is managed to land him, and 2max does shut him down, but then Proxy gets the trade out, playing from below the stairs. EJ gets the kill on the 2max, as now Vexed have the advantage going into this final half of the round.
Try and cover that downstairs now. A bit of a different tactic being employed by the aggressors, trying to get themselves through these castle walls. It's not really working too well yet. Rum almost managing to catch up, one of them running across his field of view. Not going to go down. They have eyes on the bomb. The question is, can they get to it? They're in a 4 versus 3 situation.
This is another option that is very common for a lot of teams, is that they like to push in from this delivery room side, as again it is more of a one-way corridor, and Blackbeard does excel in this circumstances, especially if you have control of that geisha. Then it then just makes it a lot easier, as you don't have to worry about any contestant defender trying to peek you from that B bomb site, which at the moment Kitchen is clear, so it does give Rum now a free walk through into the bomb site.
Let's see if they choose to go for it here, because if they push too far in, they might get... Oh, he's going to spot him underneath there.
Great shot.
Happy feet. Actually got the C4 over, but didn't manage to drop him down from it. So, Horizon, once again, knowing the angles, find themselves in a good situation.
Oh, we've seen the head.
They've seen the head. They know exactly where he is. They know that he's lurking around this corner. Can they deal with him before they go for the plant? There's 20 seconds left to play with, so they've got to move soon.
So the plant is going down in this situation. 3 on 2. Diffuser does go down. They have control of upstairs. It's going to have to be a really, really impressive retake from Vex, as we do see EJ get 1 kill on the Rum. It's going to be a dead body, Tristan, as possibly that could cost him.
Oh!
Tristan gets killed on EJ. Rum dead down next, and it is going to be Horizon taking a map off of Vex, and they do get 3 points out of this series.
Well, to think some of the guys from Vex were speaking earlier on and saying easy 2-0, easy 2-0. Not going to be the case today, my friends. One that was a bit harder last week than maybe they bargained for, and today Horizon